This hold for a few seconds, you go back out to the either CarPlay or Android Auto. So that's working. This is a touchscreen screen, so you hit that. Sunday's weather.
Sunday and Monday will be partly cloudy with a high
As you can see,
and a low.
the touch function works, or you can use 2013 Infiniti G37. Customer would like to have a CarPlay Android Auto. We are using a factory monitor, and we're going to add a device that gives us CarPlay Android Auto wireless one. So first thing we're going to do is we can remove this shift boot downward like this. There is a clip, metal clip right here. You're going to remove that to release this shift knob. So be careful not to lose that little clip, that's a spring tension. So just be careful, move it, and pulls out. Second step is to remove this. Once you have this shifter knob off, start it from this end here by the cup holder. This plastic panel is separated from the cup holder. You lift it up, let's put this to the back, and you're going to remove this entire bottom panel out. Maybe this comes out.
You're going to do the calibration?
Tri panel, and remove that bottom panel. And there should be two screws here, one there. I'm going to remove them. Okay, after you remove that, this silver panel comes down like this. We're going to disconnect that harnesses behind so we can access the radio. The locking clips on top of each plugs. Push it down to release the plugs. Now this is a ribbon cable. Be careful because they are kind of fragile. Put something down here to release that piece. Careful, this ribbon cable. Push it down. Okay, so as you can see, this is a thin cable. Be careful not to damage. Now, second step is to take this plastic panel out. Step is to remove these two screws on the bottom of the display bezel. And that's going to release that plastic bezel, goes around the display part. So this thing comes out like this. Okay. And next step is we're going to remove these screws here. And there should be two more screws on the bottom, I believe. Is there no more screws? Let's remove those two screws. Okay, and this display lifts up and pulls down like that. So let's disconnect this display. Okay, now on all the Nissan with airbag indication on the bezel, if you disconnect that, can you close the door? If you disconnect that airbag indication, you would have to reset your airbag light. Like this one here is that passenger airbag right here. So all the Nissan, if you disconnect this switch, this indication, airbag light pops up and you're gonna have to reset. If you don't have reset tool, we do, you can go to AutoZone or Pep Boys. They'll lend you the tool and you can reset it for free. Or you can disconnect the battery, and once you're done what you're doing, you put that switch back on and you don't have to deal with the airbag indication. But in our case, we have a tool to reset, so we don't care, we just disconnected it. And so you got these two screws out. Now all the way deep inside, below the radio, hard to tell, but there are two screws holding on to it. You're going to remove that right there. once you have that out, as you can see, the radio comes out. Let me get a towel so we don't damage anything. I thought I was going to be able to cheat, but the metal bracket here, I thought I was going to be able to cheat by not popping this one out, but we're going to take this out because this bracket here is holding on to the plastic. It won't pass through. I mean, I can force it out, but I don't want to do that. I want to do it the right way. So what we do is push this boot downward. There is a little metal clip right here. You're going to pull forward to release that knob. Like that. Do not lose it because that has to go back in place. And next step is start from this corner here, and you just simply pry that plastic out of ways, and you should be able to release the entire shifter. Let me put this back in. Okay, so you gotta put that. Okay. Okay, so once you have that out, disconnect that. He's trying to disconnect that plug for the heated seat. Alright, I took this bottom panel out for nothing. The other radio, you actually had to take this out to get the radio out, but not this one. What you do is, there's a little trick to it. You're gonna pull this out, partially out, just a little, and you lift it up like this, and you bend it upward to release that. So, hold this for me, let me do it. Just hold that right there. So you pull this out a little bit, and you lift this back side upward like this. That actually lets you slide up. I didn't have to take this bottom panel out at all. Again, you're gonna have to release the top upward, then slide up this way to pull it out so you can access all the connections behind. I didn't have to take this out. Doesn't hurt, but that's how it comes out. So this is the module. According to the manual, it comes with all the dip switch has to be off position, which is down for this vehicle. I plugged in all the harnesses that comes with. That's the USB connection, Wi-Fi antenna, LVDS, that is the video cable, which is right there. That's the factory monitor. That gets the female side plug into that, and the male side back into factory monitor. That's the same plug. That's very important. This is how you get the CarPlay video on it. And everything else is a T harness for the power, audio. It's all T harness. So you're gonna unplug the factory harness and plug male and female back into place. Okay, the first step we're gonna do is, this is for the heater control. Be careful because these two harnesses, I'm gonna unplug it. These two harnesses are identical to the radio harness. So if you plug these back into where the radio is at, of course the radio is not gonna work, the heater control is not gonna work. So be careful. So I'm gonna just put it up here behind this panel. Then we're gonna unplug the radio harness. As I said, that's the same size plug that goes to this matching plug. So it gives you male and female. So plug it into female to male. Then the male side plugs back into the radio harness. Another harness right below it, smaller one. You unplug it, then that plugs into another T-harness, male and female. Same way. Female goes in there, then the male side plugs back into the radio. Those are the only two connections we're going to make at the radio.
Okay.
Then we're going to run this LVDS connections up to the top. Run this one, let's put this one out. Run this behind and pull it up. So we're going to run the video cable up to the top. So make sure you put behind because the radio panel and the display panel is going to get pinched if you put front side of it. So again, male and female, just like the radio harness that goes back into the radio monitor. So we're going to put the monitor back in. Just simply plug in two harnesses to be unplugged. Okay, and we're going to put that onto the top. So let's put that right there. Now there is a hole there. Plug it in. Yep. Okay, so we're going to temporarily put it there. So before we pack it up, we're just going to make sure that everything works. Just going to put the panel back on temporarily. Just be careful, there's a lot of electronic components behind. Not to touch that. So we're going to need a ribbon cable back in here. In order to get the screen to come on, you have to plug in LVDS on back of the radio, not on the back of the monitor. If we did it originally on the back of the monitor, the screen was all scrambled. And we found out you have to do it at the tuner pack. Behind the tuner pack, there is LVDS plug. Male, female, plug it in. Now you get this. Turn on your Bluetooth. Look for CXBT. And once you pair, hopefully it shows Android Auto. That pairing. Something is happening. Android Auto can connect right now. Okay, you gotta unlock it. Alright, it's loading. Okay. Yep, it works. As I said, only thing we couldn't figure out is audio. Let me see what it is. Infiniti.
My car.
Infiniti.
No, my car.
Alright, so we're gonna see if I can connect the Bluetooth for the music. But first you gotta connect the Android Auto or CarPlay Bluetooth. Then you go back out and connect the factory Bluetooth for audio. Let's see if that works. Okay, it's connected. Alright, I'm gonna go back out to Android Auto.
Display. Yes.
Here on the audio. Audio. Now you gotta turn the Android Auto first. Go back out.
No, no sound.
Now it has no sound as you can hear. Nothing there.
Play.
So we're gonna make it work. So the volume is all the way up, but no audio. So we go back out to settings. And audio settings. And you go down to use the original Bluetooth audio, turn that on. And you are using the knob to turn the settings. And it will reboot. Okay, it's rebooting it. And once the reboot option is done, you get to use the Bluetooth audio. Takes a couple of minutes to come back up. Okay, so you go to the Android Auto. You gotta connect your Android Auto. We already connected, so it should pop up. You gotta unlock it.
No, wait.
Yes. the music works. Right, so it came with one of these. We didn't find a matching plug. It was too wide or too short. Didn't find anything. Some of them, they do have aux input right here, RCA, or on the back of it. We didn't have any. Nothing there. So, no information on the manual, but Ricardo decided to pair the Bluetooth audio on the factory audio system. We still did not have audio. And we discovered that once you go to the Android Auto settings and choose audio and use original factory Bluetooth as audio, you don't have to use this cable at all. Rather, you pair the Bluetooth for the Android Auto or CarPlay first, then you go back out to factory settings on the Android Auto and use the Bluetooth as audio input. In order to do that, you gotta physically go back out to factory Bluetooth. From here, after you pair your CarPlay or Android Auto, you pair the Bluetooth audio as input source. You're still not going to get it until you go back out by push and hold this one for a few seconds. Then you go to the settings on either CarPlay or Android Auto, go to the audio source, select the factory Bluetooth audio as audio input. Once you have done that, audio works. This is a Wi-Fi antenna. You don't have to put it outside. We've been doing it behind the radio, anywhere near that area. It works fine. So you just put this one right here, and you can stick this behind the radio. A lot of space is unplugged the radio. Just push it down. This I gotta tell you guys. As I said, whenever you disconnect the airbag indication on all the Nissan and Infiniti, your airbag light will flash on and off like that. You're gonna have to reset it with the computer. Second part we discover, see this key symbol here? There's another key indication here, key not found. Then there's a yellow key symbol here. Whenever you disconnect this white box, there are two plugs there, two things gonna happen. You're not gonna be able to start the car, nor if the car is started, you cannot turn this off. Another thing is your volume control and the menu button may not work. So what you can do is you gotta disconnect. Right, so you gotta put it in park. So you gotta put it in park to shut it off. Now the key symbol is still on, and if you open the door and lock the door, unlock the door, this will go away. So I lock, unlock, open the door, shut the door, lock. Sometimes it went away, and we thought everything was good after that, but it wasn't. It was still showing that. I changed the battery thinking it was a battery, it wasn't that. So car still starts, even though that key indication is still on, car still starts. So what you gotta do is, you're gonna have to physically disconnect the main battery under the hood and wait a few minutes. That will erase that yellow indication. So take this battery cover out, loosen this 10 mil, disconnect the battery, wait about 2-3 minutes, put it back in, that will go away. That's how we reset it. I like to put the module on the passenger side under the carpet. You can actually pull the carpet away from the center dash. There's a space there, so we ran the wire. There's an opening there. We ran the wire to that side, and we're gonna bury that module behind the carpet because we try to put it here, it's too tight. So we're not gonna do it that way. So let's hope. Wait, we gotta put the battery back on. Yes.
Let me have the key.
So we got everything back together. As I said, we were having so much trouble trying to get the audio and also the key symbol indication showed up on the dash. I'm going to briefly explain to you what you need to do to make it work right. So first thing you're going to do is, well, the device, as I said, it doesn't fit behind the radio screen because it was too tight. So we had to open this one up. This carpet you can peel open like this. There's a huge space on this corner on the passenger side. That's where we ran the wire down so it doesn't hit the radio tuner behind here. It wouldn't fit. So we were able to pull this carpet up, put the device back there, and whenever you disconnect this white box, I believe that's the heater control box, you will have a couple things. The key indication, the yellow indication on that corner by tachometer, it shows up, that doesn't disappear. And also you cannot shut off because ignition stays on without having this connection put together, the white connector to a big connector. You have to have that in. In order to reset that airbag, the key indication over there, you need to disconnect the battery for a few seconds, which is under the hood obviously. Then it will erase that yellow key indication by the tachometer, and also once you put this back in, your car shuts off as well. In order to get the Android Auto, first thing you're going to have to do is pair this one to the Bluetooth. So you go to Bluetooth, then you look for the CXBT. So you're going to have to pair the CXBT first. And once you do that, this will come up as an Android Auto, Android Auto or CarPlay. So as you can see, it works. Now, the audio is not going to work. The reason for that is because this particular one did not have aux jack input either under the armrest or behind. So for this one, we are using a Bluetooth audio option. To do that, you go back out to the factory settings by press and hold the return key, the back key, for about 5 seconds. It goes back to factory. Then you go to the disc aux right here. Go to Bluetooth audio option. You're gonna pair, after you pair the CarPlay Android Auto, you back out to this Bluetooth audio on the factory side and connect the Bluetooth music from your cell phone. So it's gonna basically have two different options connected. One is the CarPlay or Android Auto. Second is the audio for the Bluetooth. Then you press this, hold for a few seconds. You go back out to the either CarPlay or Android Auto. So that's working. This is a touchscreen screen, so you hit that. Sunday's weather.
Sunday and Union will be partly cloudy with a
As
high
you can
visibility
see,
and a lower
the touch function works, or you can use the joystick here. See, as you can see, when you turn the knob, it also selects different options. So you can select, you push this one inward, take me home. So you can verbally say what it is. I don't want to show you my home. Alright, so you can either use touchscreen here or joystick here to select from one function to another. Okay? And all the steering wheel control still works. The reverse cam still works. The radio still works. So press and hold. The radio still works. So everything still works. Like that. Thanks for watching.